Welcome back. U.S. officials say Russia used Facebook in its campaign to sway the 2016 presidential race. Well, now there are signs the Kremlin may be at it again ahead of the November midterm elections. The social media giant has removed dozens of accounts with possible links to Russia. Facebook says it's the most extensive effort to interfere in American politics that it's uncovered to date. CNN's Drew Griffin has more.
Facebook calls it inauthentic behavior, and though Facebook can't be sure, it sure looks like Russia again. 32 pages with names including Black Elevation, Resistors, Aztlan Warriors, being followed by 290,000 accounts. The fake accounts also setting up and promoting real events and protests aimed at further polarizing U.S. political discourse.
Everybody in! Nobody out! No!
Many of the events did occur, including this one last year in New York City, attended by actual Americans who likely had no idea that the Resistors Facebook page was probably run by Russians.
So I was contacted through Facebook by a woman named Mary Smith.
Mariana Pineda actually messaged with organizers at that Resistors page about the protest last year.
She wanted me to look into permits for having a rally in Union Square. We contacted the police department and asked about permitting, and ultimately decided to do the rally without permits. And we talked about sound and the use of amplified sound, and I said that I needed something, and so they sent me a megaphone in the mail.
Another event by the same group was supposed to take place in a couple of weeks. Resistors set up a counter-protest against white supremacists at the White House August 10th. 5 other real groups signed on to participate. As Facebook was announcing its crackdown on these potential Russian sites, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security was at a cybersecurity conference saying there's no doubt Russia meddled in the 2016 election.
Everyone and everything is now a target.
And Russian actors may be at it again, comparing the upcoming midterm elections to a looming storm.
But today, I believe the next major attack is more likely to reach us online than on an airplane. We are in a crisis mode. The Cat 5 hurricane has been forecast, and now we must prepare.
Facebook says these current pages, all shut down, have the hallmarks of the activities the Russians did around the presidential election. Though there are some differences, this time the pages didn't lead back to Russian IP addresses, and they used third-party services to buy ads to boost their posts and encourage people to follow the pages.
Well, so technology continues to play a huge role in politics, for good or evil. CNN's Samuel Burke is in London. First, I want to go to Matthew Chance in Russia for more on this story. And Matthew, these pages, as we just heard, did not lead directly back to Russian IP servers, but Facebook found the tactics were very similar to those used in the 2016 presidential election. Does that suggest perhaps that Russia is getting better at covering its tracks?
Well, it may suggest that, Linda, yes, if indeed it was the Russians that carried this out. And Facebook, of course, was very careful not to directly point the finger of blame at Russia. It's leaving that finger to be pointed by intelligence agencies or politicians, because I think the circumstantial evidence has to be taken into account as well. What's been the track record of Russia in meddling in this way and fueling, you know, kind of political unrest in this way, and what would its motivation be? And so I think lots of people in the United States in particular would immediately think of Russia when they see this kind of behavior. I think one of the big questions, though, is if it is indeed deemed to be Russia which is the source of this, what will the consequences be? What kind of response will that elicit from the United States, which has already, you know, sanctioned Russian individuals and Russian corporations for engaging in this kind of activity back in the 2016 elections? That doesn't seem to have worked. So what further action can or should be taken to prevent it from happening?
Yeah, exactly. Certainly big questions for the US on what to do and how to tackle it. I want to go to Samuel now. Obviously, Facebook, a big issue in the tech world, but are there problems about today in terms of what gadgets may cost people in the future because of Trump's trade war?
Now, what's interesting, here we are talking about Facebook, and a lot of people thought so many of the tech companies like Facebook, Twitter, Netflix would all be immune from any type of trade war, because I thought, well, these aren't physical products, most of them. These are products that exist online. They wouldn't be hit. Now it's looking like every tech product under the sun could be hit by these tariffs.